Salute, salute. You already know who it is. It's JAH-ACE from JAH-ACE TV. Got something big coming on right now. Share the live, everybody. We got the big rosters coming in the building tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? The brethren's reached out to me, and it's an honor. The Rastafarians want to speak, man. So why not through me, man? One of their own. So we definitely gonna get into it today, man. We gonna dispel all the myths. We gonna hold a reasoning. We gonna vibe with the peoples, man. And at some point I'm gonna pull people up that want to come up, man. So just tune in. Done know. This is definitely a blessing to be able to be up here with this, man. Cause this movement is real, man. We put in a lot of pain, a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Going against Babylon, man. So you already know what it is, man. Salute. Y'all, share the live. Yeah, you already know, man. Rastafari. You know what I'm saying? When you see me, you already know what it is, man. It's Rasta first, you know what I mean? Put in a whole lot of work, man, to even be able to bear that. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to be a Rastafarian, man. And to be able to, wave that flag, man. But I'm not even gonna hold y'all up, man. I'm gonna bring in the brethren, one of the elders, man, one of the key top respected dudes in the whole New York state, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring him up, then I'm gonna bring up Jock, same way. Heal.
Yeah. You need some more light? You can hear me?
You got something blocking you, man. What's that? That right there is perfect right there, my lord.
That's perfect.
Yeah, hail.
But let me put on, hold on. Yo, I'm doing something, man.
Salute to the peoples, man. It's an honor to be here, man. We got the brethren coming in now.
I'm having a meeting, man.
This is big. Tune into this. Tune in. This is big. Yo, here.
How's that, man? How's that?
Yeah, that's perfect right there, King.
All right.
Hold the eye there.
Salute.
Yeah, salute, man. Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Empress
Hail
Selassie.
Selassie the First. Empress with zero meaning. One
One
perfect
perfect balance.
balance. Blessed.
Yeah, bless up,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it's a blessing to be able to even be up here to reason with the eye, first of all, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because to try that road, I know it's tough, man. You know, throughout the whole years of even claiming Rasta, it's like a whole. It's like carrying more than bricks on your back, brethren. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah. My name is Ras Lumumba.
All
Yeah.
right, and so let me ask you something, Lumumba. Like when you're talking about Rasta, right? Like, because people get it twisted for some strange reason where they don't understand where that come from. You hear me? They
They
don't
don't
understand where
understand.
they don't understand where it come from. So they saying, "Yo, how could you be saying you Rasta
I'm on the
and
meeting. Yeah.
and and it's connected to some and it's connected to Ethiopia? What do you got to say to the people them that don't overs?
That don't know it?
That don't overs? Yeah,
Yeah, well, God says they always say if you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in a book. You understand? So a lot of times because of our lack of information, our lack of knowledge is, and we go mostly on what we hearsay, and we don't do and take the time to do the research for ourselves. This is why you would find people being confused about what Rasta really is all about, because they don't take time not only to study books, but even to also study their own self, to get into their self.
so you think that people not doing their own research, they just going by what anybody say?
Yeah, but that's what they might hear Sizzler say something, or they might listen to Bob Marley, or they might hear their brethren say something that he learned from somebody else, and they might feel, well, this is what Rasta is all about. But Rasta is an inborn conception, brethren. It got to come from within. So regardless of how much locks you got on your head, how much I tell you eat, how much weed you smoke, that don't
Let
make
me
you a Rasta.
say that one more time. No matter how much locks you got in your head, say that one more time, because people don't
No,
overs that.
no matter how much locks you got on your head, how much weed you smoke, and how much ital food you eat, at the end of the day, if you don't know who His Imperial Majesty is, then you're not Rastafari.
I'm glad you said that because people seem to think that you gotta have long locks and you gotta have all this and have that in order to be Rasta.
That, well,
Hold on.
again, if you study, you would know that Ras means Prince, Tafari of Peace. That's the name that His Imperial Majesty had before he became Haile Selassie the First. So if you don't, that's where we get the name from. Just like Christ Christian, Rastafari, we got the name Rastafari from His Imperial Majesty.
Heal to the lion, Jock. Heal.
Hail His Imperial Majesty Ali Selassie,
Hail,
JAH-ACE,
Jah.
not living.
Hail up, Jah, His Majesty.
Ali Selassie the first. Yeah, so brethren, let the people them know that being that you just came in, let the people them know who you are, brethren.
Yeah, I would like to introduce myself, Jock Lion. I'm a Rasta man from out of Queens, New York, Brooklyn, Queens, New York. Um, Represented Rastafarian to the hilt in the prison system and out road.
Yeah, greetings, man. Yeah, so we were just talking. Somebody saying in the comments that you know, I guess it was a misconception that saying that you got to be Jamaican to be Rasta. How you feel about that King?
Well,
But here Selassie the First is Ethiopian.
exactly. The root,
Say that
is
again.
Ethiopia. That's
Say
right.
that again.
Haile Selassie the First is Ethiopian, not Jamaican, not Bajan, not Trinidadian. He is Ethiopian.
I agree 100%. Myself, I was born here in America. My parents were born here in America. I am Rastafarian. Who's to say I'm not Rastafarian? The basis of Rasta is towards the east, Ethiopia. All right, not towards the west. So we look towards the east, which is Ethiopia. The basis is the Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie JAH-ACE, born and raised, come from. Ethiopia is the basis, nothing else. It just so happened that Prince Harwell came from Jamaica and created the concept.
Mikey B, salute. Mikey B in the building. He said, "Hail the brethren."
Salute, Mikey B.
Yeah, Mikey.
Hail.
Yeah, Mikey B, it's time, man. So the Rastas wanted to speak, man. So long overdue.
For sure.
So let me, Gad Lumumba, Gad, what you want to say?
Nah. Go ahead.
So
say what you had to say, brother.
I want to touch on this, brethren, where you got some people that, like Jock just said, he was born here and he waved the banner. He's Rasta. How much resistance did you get behind that Jock?
Good question. Well, it was a lot of resistance. For instance, behind the wall, I kind of was in the forefront of the vanguard of the Rasta movement when it came to that concept in particular. I created an organization called the Rebirth Black Lion. And that was part of the reason why I created that, Soldiers of Selassie, because I found that there was a lot of discrimination against Trinidadian, Black man in America, and Rastas from every place else but Jamaica. There was a lot of resistance, a lot of disrespect, no regard shown. So I created a movement to dispel that. You know, I found some opposition from time to time, but I overpowered it. For instance, Mikey B, for instance, Mikey B embraced Rasta with me. You know us? He embraced it. He used to come to services, pray, practice our practices. Rasta respected it. And many others. We didn't allow that side talk, Yankee boy or whatever. We didn't allow none of that. Because here what? In the mountains of Jamaica, you have enough yardmen who are up there breeding with who? Who are they breeding with? They're breeding with white women from Europe. So who are they to say, or anyone else to say, that a black man, wherever they're from, is not Rasta?
Yeah, true that. Share the live, y'all. Share the live. This is big. We got yo Lumumba and Jock. I want the item to be graceful, man. We got a special guest that, because you know only special guests could come in, man. We got a special guest that just came in that will enjoy the item.
Yeah.
Y'all know this dude?
Who that, Trevor?
Trevor.
ISIS.
Greeting Rastaman. Greeting in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie the First. Long live the dynasty Emperor Selassie the First and Empress Menini. Blessed be Jah.
One perfect balance.
Rastafari,
First live and reunite continually.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
I.
yeah, Trevor. Yeah, the brethren just holding a reason. Like I said in the beginning, the Rastaman then want to speak, and why not on JAH-ACE TV, man? You know what I'm saying? So Jock, so touching on, I want to just dig deep and more further into what you were saying, because like you had like like Mikey B that came in and he was practicing everything along with you, right?
Yes.
Knowing that certain man them probably didn't even want him being Rasta, but he still did it anyway.
Yes, he was deep in his convictions with it. That's what I respected about him. Respect. I respect it because he followed the team, right? He followed the team, the gang life. He followed the gang life, but he still submitted to His Imperial Majesty Ali Selassie Jah Rastafari, the first. And he allowed
and the gang thing.
Right. And he never one time wavered from it. Not one time. So I respect that. Also, we held the church down. Is the Boona Fox, the church, the Rastafarian church. With a lot of Rastaman there behind the wall rebuked against the Rasta church that came in by way of a Boona Fox. And he held it down as well.
Yeah, so respect due then.
Yes.
Because I know it was a big war going on with that whole thing, with the concept that Abuna came in with and people not really agreeing with it. And not, see, one thing I can say, Lumumba always say, Abuna's a man and that Abuna's not His Imperial Majesty.
Exactly.
So that's where the issue came in at, where, bro, we talking about His Imperial Majesty versus the Church Ali Selassie first, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Lumumba, touch on that real quick, Brethren.
Well, what I want to touch on that is to say this, right? That we go through life and we could see the negative. We almost conditioned to see the negative in everything. And sometimes it's good to see what the role that what we might consider the negative, to see the role that it played in our growth and development. When the church came into, when Abuna came into I was in Sing Sing at that time. I was in Sing Sing and he came in and established the church. Well, obviously anything new, people is going to have their reservations about, because it's new. I never heard about the church, a Rasta church. I never heard about, going and praising His Majesty in a temple. Then a lot of other things came into play with, as far as Bengi, 12 tribe, Bobo, that kind of thing there. What I try to tell people is this, right? Abuna, Prophet Gad, Prince Emmanuel, Prince Emmanuel, all of them elders that came before us, they set the stage for what we are doing now. Whether we agreed with them or disagree with them, they're the ones that held the banner up, and held the banner probably before some of us was even born.
That's right.
Right? So instead of us always looking at the negative, sometimes it's good. Let me just say, well, look, man, we know what we went through as a people, but let me highlight the positive in each other. Let me highlight the positive in Abuna Fox. Let me highlight the positive in Prince Emmanuel. Let me highlight the positive in Abuna Fox. You understand what I mean? Because a man is a man. And we sometimes we be looking for the perfect man. Sometimes we be looking for the perfect organization. It don't exist.
Never will.
It only exists in our minds. But what we could come in, I got a lot out of being in the church. I got a lot of spiritual growth from being a part of the Church of Haile Selassie I. So I could never come now and say, well, you know what? I'm here in Barbados. I don't care nothing about the church, Abuna this, Abuna that. Nah, I'm going to tell the people the good that I got from that. And that's what we always need as a people, as Black people, instead of always putting the negative out there in the atmosphere. Let me start highlighting the good that we see in each other, man.
I totally agree with him. Even as a rebirth Black Lion, I had to at times enforce the respect for the church, within the church and outside. You have to remember this, right? The church was brought into it was brought into an abnormal setting, right? The abnormal setting was the prison, We're in prison. Okay? So we didn't have a particular setting where Rastas can reason. There was no groundation situation in there. You know of us? So the church kind of made a way for that, for Rastas to get together and reason through the church of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, the divine Iglium. It became an apparatus for the Rastas to unify spiritually. And it worked for many of us.
True. I know that, Trevor, I know you had your little, doubts with certain things. But, you my brethren, same way, right? But we got to do the works, Trevor. You know what I'm saying? We made a vow that no matter what, we're going to do the works of His Majesty. So right now, we doing works, man. Because the people, them, is hungry right now. You see what I'm saying? How the idea feel, Trevor?
I think my mic is mute, man. Unmute my mic.
I did.
All right, greeting. See, Mr. Babetta, man.
Everybody that know you know that.
Me defend Babetta. Me defend truth, principle and value me deal with. And the church come a time, I know in darkness, not for winning darkness. For my youth, I come up and say, a Rasta man, I never know too much about this Majesty, Rastafarian struggle and so forth. What me hear and what me say as a youth. Like Jamaica, I was exposed to in the prison system. You can street, all we gonna when we go astray in that street. You know, as when we did on certain people, we call up John name. Other than that, that was it. And my eye was open to a bona fide, the teaching of the church. And enough things me understand. And enough things me see the paths that me and other individuals traveling wasn't conducive or positive for us. But we never know it. So my eye became open. And the truth me defend. Not care who you is. And that's the truth. And if you say you're a Rasta man and I deal with certain things, it's not gonna work with me. You know, if you're a Rasta man, it's Majesty way. Yes, I Buna fact, Buna Emmanuel is fact at the other church. I agree with that. But it's Majesty way. If you're wearing a fleck with the emperor though, then me and you, we never see eye to eye.
Set speed.
And that's wrong with nothing I and I today. We say we are Rasta, but we're quick to quote the Bible. Most Rasta man ever quote the utterance, a speech by His Majesty. Some of the things that His Majesty do. No man no count that. No man run to the Bible. Moses, Joshua, Daniel. Who is them? They've had a past. That ain't had nothing to do with Rasta. I ain't use the Bible to establish the fundamental a certain thing. So the oppressor are those who don't embrace I and I as a human being. We use the Bible, them old book, and highlight certain things and challenge them on certain things. That's all we're supposed to use the Bible for. At the emperor way, and at that of the plan with I and I. Even in the system, that's why me enough man used to bump head. Can I see my Rasta? And I'm a different other thing. Like I was saying, iron and water can't agree. They're not mix. And that's some of the problem. And also, enough virgin misinformation through the music and through other virgin tell them. Enough man don't want to read. Everybody want to listen, follow people. Instead of they're going to do your own research and find out the truth and embrace it for what it is. Them not do that. Them rather listen to what them virgin say and say, yeah, man, Rasta, and blah, this is Rasta way. No, that's not Rasta way. And that's one of the things we disagree with. And the church, the church come where Abuna Fox wasn't the first individual the brethren them sent a letter to for come in and help I and I out. The Bingi, the 12 tribe, and above them, they said, nah, come to the institution to help nobody. That's not for them thing. Abuna Fox was the owner man, said, you know what? I'm going to help the man then. And that's why the church come and find. It come and find for the man who in the Babylonian system. Come and find for the people in the find. Come find for I and I. And through the ignorance and petty differences, enough man divert from the church. Because certain individual was in position, certain virgin never like that individual, so them draw a card, oh, no man from Jamaica, Rasta start from Jamaica, and blah, 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 blah. No, Rasta not start at Jamaica. Rasta re-emerge in Jamaica. If you look at the I&I history, it's an ancient tradition where the emperor always a physical manifestation of God. That come from Ethiopia, from way back in ancient time. It has re-emerged in Jamaica and a Rastafari. Enough man know that, oh, Rasta not start from Jamaica. Show me Rasta start at Jamaica. It's a concept come from Ethiopia. Marcus Garvey look to the east. Their deliverance is near King or Rise. Africa, they might talk about them. I said, look at Jamaica, this happened at Jamaica. No, I said, look at Africa. So everything I come from Africa.
So Trevor,
yes.
You Jamaican and you saying that that's not where it started.
Rasta not start at Jamaica, re-emerge on a different title. The emperor, the physical emperor being the physical manifest on God is not a Jamaican thing. It's an African thing from ancient times.
So I'm saying that because I want the people them to overs.
Yeah, I'm kind of different. Could we shake unto there in my light that I even said in my highlight that all them great historian Dr. Ben and then I like certain thing and show the emperor or the pharaoh was a physical manifestation of God. And but it's a true a black man in this era, and true certain attribute I give to the emperor, but the emperor was alive in the physical form, them get vexed. Because usually Jesus Christ was supposed to be a human being who walked earth. Buddha was a human being, Christ was a human being, all these individuals was human being. Osiris was a human being.
So Trevor, even though you had letters written to different man them, right?
Yes.
And only Abuna step up. So why did Abuna Fox get so much resistance?
No, utter ignorance. I like discipline. No man not like discipline. True. And the emperor said discipline of the mind is a basic ingredient of general morality and spiritual growth. The emperor said that. We think some of us Jamaican or the West we better than everything. We don't want to take no talk on nobody and so forth. So I come on a show thing, like I said, two petty differences. You might know a man from Jamaica and might interact with a man different from other individual. People see it and draw a card. We know we're human beings. We draw a card on some of us draw a card on each other. Who not like the brother that I know, thinking better than me, or him always I go on and I this in my family, I come see him, I get this and oh, you know want to look out for me. These are the mentality enough of us. The colonial mentality, the winner lynch syndrome. We have that mentality there. So I bring the same thing that Rasta and that disrupt. So when we sit down and listen to Abuna say and come as one, everything was one until some misunderstanding with Zion. The misunderstanding with Zion, some man thinks Zion against certain thing, I am not want to let off on nobody, and blah blah blah. That's all the confusion coming out of the church. And it split the church. And out of some of the men from the street are coming, them out of certain sound, and the virgin them want clarification, never stop to clarify certain things that help divide the community too. And at that, as I ignorant, if man virgin and virgin sit down and listen and reason like man and start use ignorant, that won't happen. It will not.
Lumumba, so being that you was around for all this, Bridget. So what was your take when all of this was going on? Because you know about other brethren was reached out to and they didn't come in, then Abuna came in, and then the split happened. How you felt about everything that was going on, King?
Well, I can't say that I had any kind of feelings. I just, with me, people is people. But when I say that, I mean, if you look at gangs, if you look at groups, if you look at whatever, at some point in time, there's always, in these groups, is always lead to some kind of conflict, some kind of confusion, something or somebody always, the ego, everybody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to be the one to stand up front or whatever it is. You know, these things happen in every group, everywhere you turn. This is where you see it. This is why the youths is killing off each other the way they're killing off each other, even though the ego, that's something that we don't, we need to really put a check on. What Trevor was saying, as I said, we could go back in the past, and it's good to go back in the past so that you could learn. But all them incidences is dead and gone, right? And we dealing with a new life. We dealing with something. We out here in the street now. We supposed to be, we learn from the experience that we had in the prison system. So when we come out here now, we had made an agreement that this is what we was going to do. We was going to continue. So, yes, Abuna came in at a time when other Rastafari group didn't want to come, or for whatever reason, they didn't come. I ain't here to question that. I don't know what really happened or why they refused or whatever it is. But anyway, Abuna came in. As I said, the Rastafari that I was used to and the Rastafari that Abuna brought in, which is, as Trevor put, the structure, the discipline, I myself wasn't even used to that, right? I myself wasn't even used to it. But I think that a lot of times what really caused a lot of conflict is that we usually, we was deifying Abuna more than we was deifying His Imperial Majesty.
That's
and
deep,
if
man.
if we had seen that Abuna and all these other brethren that came before us are only men, they did their purpose, they did their purpose, and you and me we can't erase that. But at the end of the day, they had their flaws too, like everybody else. I got my flaws, you got yours, everybody have all flaws. But sometimes we put people in the category, and when we put them in that category, we don't want to see their flaws. even when the flaws is right there in front of us, we don't want to see it.
True, true, true. You hit that in the head, man. The thing is this though, that everybody, Jock, Jock, you baptized?
I was baptized the same time as Lumumba.
So we all baptized members. So we know what it feel like to be baptized in that fire,
See,
right? So
exactly.
we
Yeah.
don't have no excuse. Because when we said that we was going to do X, Y, and Z, we are to be held accountable. We had to go through certain things before we was baptized.
Exactly.
So we could have easily said, nah, you know what? Let me change my mind. I'm not even going to do that. Because even out here in the free world, you're gonna face many things even out here in the street. Because you know why? People want to see you revert back to your old ways. You see what I'm saying? And I know everybody on the panel already done dealt with that already. But it's the teachings of His Majesty that keep us moving militant. Am I right or am I wrong, brethren?
You're right.
Facts.
My practice, the practice of that started with me immediately before baptism, the process of being baptized. And then after being baptized, my old practices started shedding. I started shedding my old practices because I stayed around my baptized brothers. Lumumba was the main one. It seems like every jail I went to, I bumped into that man. I bumped into that man. And all we did was build, and we build on righteousness and stayed humble. Although we came from something else, we practiced something else. But the church and the structure, the Ethiopian structure, is what changed me, because I was used to the Nyabingi way. But the Ethiopian way through the church showed me something different, gave me a different type of discipline, to shine a different light on me. And I never once looked at Abuna Fox anything higher than what he was, me personally.
Mm.
What I looked at him was as a bigger brother who opened the door for a Rastaman to become one with Ethiopia, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, JAH-ACE.
So that right there is profound, because you know when you come into the fold, you realize that this is who you're supposed to be in the beginning, but you was denying yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't nobody can make you a Rasta. We don't convert. Let me ask you something. When you look at this right here, right? Lumumba, and people say, if you look on the screen, right, you say, yo, how's people praising this man, saying he's God and all that? What would you say to those people that don't understand that right there?
Well, I would like for us at some point to move away from the whole God thing. And the reason why is that I could say this plant is God or whatever it is, and you would say, no, my God is is an elephant, or my God is a tree, or my God, whatever it is, right? That term God caused so much division and so much bloodshed throughout the centuries that at some point, when I was coming up in Rastafari as a youth, you had some elder Rastas that you couldn't even go around them and say the word God. You can go around them and say, Hail Selassie the first is God, because they tell you the Hail Selassie the first is Hail Selassie the first. Right? When I was young, I couldn't understand them why they used to do that. But as I got older now, I see why it had to be done. Because once you bring in Hail Selassie the first is the Almighty, which I don't have a problem with it because I came up that way. I came up seeing it that way. But what that does now, a person now that see Jesus or Allah or Krishna
Buddha.
or Buddha gonna take sides. Everybody gonna take sides. We need to know that Hail Selassie the first and it's like we bring Christianity into Rastafari. And I remember the elders when I was younger was telling me that again. They said, don't bring Christianity into Rastafari.
Well, it's not a religion.
So what happened is that we just the same mysteries that or whatever that we had surrounding Jesus walk on water, Jesus do this or that, is the same thing that we try to bring and hook and attach to His Imperial Majesty. And we ain't dealing with no mystery. Rasta is not a mystery. We ain't dealing with that. We're dealing with Hail Selassie the first, a living man like you and I, a living man. Now, when you start attaching, when you start doing, you would say, when you start attaching the Almighty God, when the coronation at His Imperial Majesty during the coronation, look at the titles that it was given to him.
Yeah,
And none of them titles, you ain't see nothing about God. You see Kings of Kings, Lords of Lords, conquering line of the tribe of Judah. But you ain't see the Almighty God there.
Yes, Simeon. Yeah,
Huh?
true that.
You ain't see them things that we put on it. Those labels, those things that we put on it, you ain't see it there. So if we gonna stick to the script, let me stick to the script. Rasta, and that's the whole thing. Rastafari started to split up and became too Christianized. They lost focus, the movement. They lost focus on the movement, what it originally was here for, the movement. We say that we supposed to be, how many brothers is live by the creed? And that's a powerful creed.
Big time creed right there, man.
How many brethren actually is follow the creed?
Not many.
All right. You got brethren, I got brethren here right now that he lost a leg. He got his leg cut off. Our Rastafari brethren, his leg just got cut off. You know that I didn't even know till another brethren called me and tell me, well, look, such and such just got his leg cut off. I was like, whoa. But you know what the brethren tell me when I called him? Nobody come to see him. But we got all the big talk. And we could quote Bible, we could quote what His Majesty said, but when it comes to doing the work, you don't find nobody doing that work, homie. You don't find too many people doing that work.
I
And when
agree.
I say doing that work, I mean truly practicing love, truly practicing respect, truly practicing giving, sharing, forgiving. You don't see that taking place?
Yeah, true, true. I got something that a brethren asked a question. He posed a question that he want to ask the panel.
Yo, peace. Excuse my environment. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the go right now. I'm tapping in on the go. JAH-ACE is my brother, and I love the energy on this platform. I love what brothers is doing. I want to know, diet-wise, in the penitentiary, how was it? What were some of the things brothers had to do to get around the thing? What was the state serving, and what was the go-to thing on the hot plate? In the, you know what I'm saying? In the dorms, what was dudes doing in those situations to get around eating the dead eyes and them thing there? You know? Yo, peace.
I ain't hear nothing he said, bro.
You
I
ain't
heard
hear?
it. I
You
heard
heard
it.
him, Jock?
Yes, I heard.
What you say to
We,
that, Jock?
he wanted to know basically how I and I as Rasta, how we dealt with our dietary habits while being in prison. What did we eat? How did we eat as Rasta in prison?
Yeah.
Well, it was
Trevor,
hard.
you want to address that?
Address that, Trevor. Hold on. Before you do that, Trevor, I want to reset everything and let everybody that's watching know that it's an honor to have you guys on the platform, because when it comes to New York State, you guys' names is very big, man, in that Rasta community. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubts, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Nobody can deny it. You know what I mean? Throughout the state, y'all done been to every prison in the whole New York State, and y'all done made your mark in every prison in the state. Against police, against everybody, y'all dudes paved the way for a whole lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's watching this, they need to know that. Because a lot y'all don't do interviews like that, and y'all came and blessed JAH-ACE TV, man. And reason and y'all wanted to put a lot of things out there, because we don't bite our tongue for nobody. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
We became humble individuals, but we warriors first. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to let the people them know, and for those that's in here right now, share this right now, so let the people them get some of this food that we giving out tonight. Yeah, Trevor, speak about the food that the brethren was asking. How did the Rastaman them survive, knowing that a lot of the food in the system we didn't really eat, like we didn't eat that stuff like that.
I want to speak about self because
Okay.
I might as well discipline you. You know, I don't. I feed the majority of the time as a bean me eat. No other than I might eat some fish, but I really bean. And I mean, every night, if you don't have something to mess out of that, I like. I maybe some rice, I made some fish. If me go to mess out, I give it to my brother, somebody as the food.
Hit
And
that like button.
I come back and I cook. And I'm gonna cook my little rice and bean, dumpling and bean, spaghetti and bean, different type of bean. I'm gonna put my condiment in it and so forth. I mean, good. You know, I don't, certain thing I don't eat. I don't get the milk. I eat the egg and them things. Some of them things I used to get away. I don't use them butter and so forth. And I used to use salt and them things. It's up to the individual how disciplined that individual is and what he wants out of life. He care about himself. I know so sugar not good for you. You're not going to eat real sugar and so forth. Not going to drink the milk and so forth. It's up to the individual. And me somebody too, you know, fortunately I have family and brethren and sisters out there who, you know, make sure I'm all right financial wise. So when I go to the store, you know, I buy certain things and I have it, you know, where I could use it later on. You know, if I'm not going to eat breakfast, I make something, drink a cup of tea, and I eat something before I leave. If I'm not going to eat lunch, I eat something before I leave. If I'm not going to eat dinner, I won't go. Just stay and cook something. You know, because I was fortunate. A lot of Brazilians don't have that though. Someone I forgot to mess out to eat because they're not nobody looking out for them and so forth. And enough of us, we wasn't looking out for each other. Some of us, we want to care about ourselves. You know, someone that they understand, now nothing to eat, and we don't even check and find out, you know, if individual having the food and so forth, if all right and so forth. And I think, you know, as me as an individual, that's why me and a lot of brethren get along. Because I always check, I will make sure, if I go to my brethren, I make sure, you know, they're all right and so forth. If my brethren need something, I have it, I make sure the brethren have it. And vice versa, if I have nothing, something, shot or something, I could go to a brethren, Lumumba, somebody, I said, yo, give me a can of this now. I know I could get it. But a lot of us don't do that. We pick and choose who we interact with, and we pick and choose who we might get something to. And I wasn't like that. You don't care. Now, you know, I deal with no falling and isn't my skin. I'm dead to feel. 100%. That's me. You know, I can't really speak. But other individual, when it comes to dietary, so it's up to that individual. Come never tell a man don't eat this. Only thing I might tell a man not to eat a pork. If a man I'm going to eat chicken, he still eat hamburger and everything there. That's it. It's not for survive. It's about survival. But you have to know, you know, what you do and so forth. And from my perspective, you know, I can't speak to everybody. I want to speak to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yes.
Lumumba? Yeah.
I just wanted to like deviate a little bit and give after listening to what Trevor said, we a lot of times we speak about ourselves, but we don't speak about our families that was there for us,
Yeah. Go
and
ahead and speak,
how
brother.
and we need to take this time too, man, to big up our families, man, our mothers and sisters and
And the women.
aunts, and cause most of the time we go down in that visiting room is only women, there, and actually it's prison that made me have a strong respect for black women, man. I mean, you know, I could never disrespect them because of what I saw. Like when we was in our darkest hour, when we was, you know, I mean, don't know if the world caving in on us, man. You know, just that visit. Sometimes they gotta spend 9 hours on a bus, 9 hours going and 9 hours coming. But they was there. And every time you go in the visiting room, it's nothing but women. So we need, man, to big up our families, man, and you know, show them that love, and the same love that they showed us for how many years we was in there. We need to show back our families that love, man.
Yes, real. Yes.
Yeah, I can't agree more, brethren. Like we keep, because you hear a lot when you look at like different platforms, stuff like that, and you talk about prison and stuff like that. Everybody had it locked down, right? Nobody had people holding them down or whatever. But you was the big bad wolf in the motherfucking in the prison. But you was going on a visit. You had family. We do have to speak
Right,
about that, man. We ain't do it by ourselves, man. You know, you did
right,
have some people that may have they ain't have nobody or whatever, and I understand that because that's some people situation. But a lot of us did have people, bro. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I
Because
was me
when we
personally.
talking
I
about
was I was big on that. Like I always made a way. Always made a way. My family,
GL, salute.
hell, I always made a way. I had my wife, I had my fleshy, and I had colleagues who did for me while I was in there. Because I always done for other people, so it came back to me. Also, while behind the wall, I made sure I ate back there as well. But one thing I was known for is like when I eat a meal, at least 5 or 6 other people are eating meals too.
Yes,
I
a fact.
always did that. Always, no matter where I go. Mikey B will tell you. Many people will tell you that I make sure sometimes 10 people are gonna eat every day. Most time, if it was there, we didn't even go to the mess hall. We didn't even see the mess hall. You all of us?
Yeah, but
Didn't
Yeah,
even see the
overs,
mess
you know,
hall.
yeah,
overs that. Overs. And
you
you know what
you
happened?
found some selfishness, man. But the reality is, man, a lot of us shared. A lot of us,
A
man.
lot of
Whatever
us
little
did.
bit we
Yes.
had,
Yo, you hear
a
me?
lot of us shared. You know, you
You hear,
had, as Trevor said, you had the greedy ones in between there that was just selfish and don't care nothing about nobody else but themselves. But I think that group was in the minority.
There
yeah,
was. There was.
yo, you hear me? When I'm so thankful that although I was, getting in trouble my whole youth in and out of jail and then until I end up doing all that time, right? My mom, she never turned her back on me, man. And I never had to worry about food and all that other stuff. It's so many people that I bump into right now. I could be going somewhere, whatever. Yo, man, yo, I'll never forget you, man, because I remember when I was fucked up, I ain't had no food, no nothing, and you fed me, man. When anytime you got a package, yo, I ate with you. You see what I'm saying? Because I made
Right.
sure that I shared with the people. It's nobody that could ever say that they came across me and they ain't eat with me. And that's
Same
any
way.
prison, and that's any prison. Dudes ate with me.
Same way. Yeah.
Because I could not stand around and be eating and watching somebody that I know that don't have it. That's Rastafari.
That's right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Even when we talking about the festivals, who had the best ones?
You already know already.
Yep.
Because we put so much work into it is why we had the best festivals. When we had our festivals, the police wasn't even allowed to touch our food. Am I right?
You're right.
Facts.
So, but when they did all the other festivals, police was involved.
Yep.
Good point.
That's it. But that go to show you that even though they hated us, right? I remember Lumumba said something to, because we had some great classes, right? Lumumba said something to dudes. He said, yo, y'all better study because these people know about his majesty. You remember you said that?
Yeah.
White people do not sleep on them. They know about his majesty. I seen, hey Trevor, one day over there by the church, right? I seen people standing there one day, so like 4 white people. They was looking at, you know that picture of his majesty? Trevor? You
Yeah,
know
the
that
one from
picture?
it's
Huh?
one from Tabernacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen like 4 white people one day staring at the picture, taking pictures or whatever. I purposely went over to them. I said, do you know who that is? Gretchen, they gave me a whole breakdown about his majesty. But you can go to some people that say that they Rasta, they don't know nothing about his majesty. Come on, man.
Facts.
I had a doctor in Elmira, right? This woman, she was Russian. She had to be like close to 80 years old. She told me that she met His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie personally on a trip to Ethiopia during one of her class expeditions. I was surprised by that. But at first I didn't believe her, but she had spoken on some things about His Imperial Majesty. When she spoke about it, it made me believe her. She spoke about his stature and his mannerism because she experienced it in person.
You know, I wanted to touch on something where locks now. Like it's people. It's everywhere you go now. You see people wearing locks on their head. I remember a point inside the prison system where the police put a memo out, and they said, "If you not Rasta, you can't wear no locks on your head." Do y'all remember that?
Of course.
And
How could we forget it?
Yes,
so
right.
Lumumba, what happened when they came out with that memo and told people? So people, I'm saying this because people that's watching, they need to overs how important it is and how much of an honor it is to be able to wear locks on your head. What happened when they put out that memo?
Well, of course, there was a lot of people cut their locks. A lot of people that I thought was more firm in certain things, I saw them just shed it. So, but I don't feel I don't agree with that part about you really can't stop a person from growing. I mean, if a black person want to put on locks, and it makes them feel more close to their culture or whatever, I don't have a problem with it. You understand what I mean? What I have a problem with, though, what I have a problem with is that people usually associate from locks with Rasta. So you will find a lot of homosexuals that got locks, and people would be referring to them as Ras. And I mean, even over here in Barbados, a lot of times, by the time you got locks, regardless of what you doing or who you are, they call you Ras. And when I first came back, I had was real like, what the fuck? And I start like, yo, them people ain't no Rastas, man. Them people this, that, whatever. But as time went on, I kind of understand. I say, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta let certain things, let the wheat and tares grow together until time of harvest. But let me give you an example. Rastafari in the beginning, when I first came into it in the 70s, it had a strength to it. It had a strength to it. Now, if you think about the early Christians before they were incorporated into the Roman system, the early Christians were like rebels. So what the Caesar did, the Caesar started to kill a lot of them. But the more he was killing them, the more he realized the bigger they was becoming. The movement, the more he killed, the more the movement became bigger. So the Caesar said, yo, listen, you know what? We can't stop them from growing. But what we could do is we could incorporate it into the system so that once they get incorporated into the system, they're going to lose their strength. So the Christianity that you see today is the Christianity that was taken by the system and rehashed and spit back out into what you see today, a more docile kind of Christianity. All you go in there to do, you just praise Jesus. That's what came out of that's how they managed to tone down the rebelliousness of the Christians at that time. Now, bring it up to Rastafari in these times. The movement was strong. The only body that you used to see with locks was Rasta. The only body you used to see with locks at that time. The system started attacking Rasta. But the more they attacked them, the bigger they realized it started becoming. So they said, you know what? instead of grabbing them and cutting off the locks, they end up growing them back anyway. Or we kill enough of them, we kill a lot of them, and they're still coming. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna incorporate it into the system. That was how they was able to dissolve that rebelliousness, that kind of Rastafari that we know that Bob and Bunny and all them used to sing about, you know, that kind of vibe, that kind of energy. The system was able to say, you know what? We're going to let everybody wear locks. We're going to let everybody wear locks. So now anybody just put locks on. So you don't know who is who.
Yeah. I remember
So
there
that's
was a
the
point
same
in time.
strategy, man.
Yeah.
Huh?
I remember there was a point in time where Manam was wearing locks, right? They even had some Muslims that was wearing locks that they had to change their religion.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You know, that's how deep it is, but that's the type of thing. So I'm saying this to say this is what the people that's out here that continuously do certain things to put themselves in them predicaments to go in that system. Yo, know what you getting into. Because them people ain't playing no games. They give you an ultimatum. You either gonna cut it off or you gotta go and become Rasta. But yet you are already a part of the Muslim community. But it was happening. They don't care.
Right.
Sooner or later, right? It's gonna be something else. When I remember when I seen people crying because they had to cut their locks, Bridget.
Yeah.
Trevor? What was your experience with certain monum that had to cut their locks and people? Maybe some dudes probably came to you for help. Anybody came to you for help asking you, do you know of any ways they could keep their locks?
People came, but you know, I'll be honest with everybody. They never cared. He was a Rasta, and someone was giving us bad name. Some of them are locks and I do all type of ism and schism. They never like that. You know, I understand the man I said, but realistically, Religious Restitution Act in 1995, the Supreme Court told Congress was unconstitutional. And that's when them started cut, some have cut out them locks and cut them precept and beard and so forth. I think Congress go back and change it and rewrite the law and allow people to have locks and so forth. But you have to be Rastafarian. Them know the Christian never have no locks unless you are the Nazarite or the Nazarene. Those are people that practice certain Hindu people along here. Them know the Catholic them never have no locks. The Western way of looking at things, religion, you have to have shape, clean face, and nice hairstyle. That's the Western way. And locks is a tradition from Africa where only certain people wear locks. Locks is an honor to have on locks. And Ethiopian warriors, if you go back into the research and see, the for them man have locks in them ear, they should fight against the European. And they used to do work. They put in work against the European, and they still remember that. The man with the long hair locks. And all the Rasta man used to rebel against Jamaica and what they used to do. So now they get freed. Because they know them history. We are the only one that know our history and understand our history. Now appreciate our history. Them know it, them understand it, and they know things can get out of hand. So them have to oppress certain things. Give misinformation about certain things. And I understand certain things, but I don't believe, because everything from America get corrupted.
Hit that
Everywhere
like button.
the United States get corrupted. Because America allow certain things to happen and people adapt it and they integrate and next thing you know, everything get mashed up. And you know, that should come back to a lack of discipline. Okay, if you're there Rome, you shouldn't want to do what the Roman do. That's not your value. That's not how you grow up, do the things that Roman do. If you grow up to be a Rastafari, stand firm with your conviction. But don't come over here and say, I do something, you say, yo, no. I be honest with you, I never care. Kind of man on a Rasta, and it reflect back on we. Even though I have some empathy for certain people who are trying to live a righteous way and so forth, but the law is a law. That is the law. If you're not Rasta, you can't have no locks.
But you remember, Trevor, they gave out ultimatums that if you don't cut the locks, what they was gonna do to you. I'm talking about Babylon now.
Yeah, they're gonna put it in the shoe, solitary confinement. You know that.
But most people they said if you don't do it, they was gonna cut it off for you.
Them said that, but them said that, but they're not gonna force it. They're gonna confine you. They're gonna confine you in the shoe and so forth. Gotta do that to me. My precept I said no, and them locked me up because I was confined. When that time expired, they came back and said, you're not going. I said, nah, and can't find me again, and can't find me a few times. Until the brethren, they needed me. You know, they said, yo, we need you. Here, blah, blah, blah. All the youth, them come to me. And I never want to do it, but, you know, when the brethren them come to you and say, we need you yourself to help build the foundation, straighten the foundation, and do certain things. So we say, all right, you know what? I cut it, and so forth, you know, man, vex.
We got the brethren Shivy want heal up the man them.
Shivy?
Yeah, he in the comments.
Heal up, brethren.
It's about to say,
yeah, I got it's another. The brethren had a next question he want to ask the panel. Hold on.
Yo, peace, Kings. Yo, peace, Ace. Peace, everybody. JAH-ACE TV. Thank you for allowing me to ask a couple of questions. But what I wanted to know from the Kings is like, in the early times, there wasn't really a lot of Rastas, you know, in the States in general, let alone in the system, right? I kind of want to know the come up of Rastafari in the system, being that it's only a couple of brothers and, you know, obviously, brothers commanded their respect over time, but I would love to hear some of the history of that journey and what led to the end game of ultimate respect. You understand? And some of those trials and tribulations, because a lot of times we got to take respect. And I get that. I know, you know, it's not easy. So I would love to hear that flight from my dudes. Peace.
Peace, family. Man,
Yeah.
who want? I could touch on it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I started out. My first time upstate was it was 1977. My number was 77B191. You know, there's a saying that they say what makes a lion the king of the jungle is not that because he could beat every animal in the jungle, but he would fight any animal in the jungle. And I think what made Rastafari in the early inception into the prison systems, into the New York State prison system, well, there was, I came up in 77, and I guess you had Rastas, you had brothers there was like from 73, couple of brothers, 73, 74, that had cases, but it wasn't a lot of people from the Caribbean then. When I came in, I think in the 70s, in the late 70s, the influx of the Caribbean people into the prison system became more prevalent. So what happened is that we had to band together. We had no choice. We was the minority. We had no choice. And everybody, well, from the time they hear your accent, you is Jamaican. Whether you're from Trinidad, whether you from Barbados, whether you from Guyana, whatever. From the time they hear your accent, they want to know what part of Jamaica Guyana is, or
Yes,
what part of Jamaica Barbados is.
yes,
You
sharp
know,
man.
that's because the brothers from the Jamaica actually set the stage, and that's something that we don't like to give credit where credit is due. But them brethren came in, man, and they fought everybody in the prison system. They fought everybody in the prison system, whether it was Italians, whether it was white, black, Spanish, blacks, whatever. So in doing so, they established themselves as being fearless. They fight anybody. I ain't saying that we won all the battles. I ain't gonna say we won all the battles, but again, the fact remains that it's because of the resistance that we put up, even to the police officers. Not very few people was really going up against the police like the brothers from Jamaica was. You know that's a fact. You know, when I came to Elmira, the first body that I seen to actually, when we got off that bus in Elmira, the first body that I seen to actually go up on the police officer was a brethren from Jamaica, color red. Them color red.
I
And
remember
you know,
color red.
right. So as the brother, to answer the brother question, we came through that period of how we had to establish ourselves, is that we had to fight everybody, man.
Nurse too.
Huh?
Nurse too.
Nurse.
Nurse. Yeah. Big up
Nurse was
nurse.
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lumumba, your son just came in. He want to heal you up. You see he on the screen?
Yo, his birthday was his entry day was yesterday, man.
Your other son.
Which one is that? That's a man?
Mo Blanc.
Oh, Blinds. Oh, okay.
You see
I
him
thought I
on the
was a
screen
mayor.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, hail.
Rastafari.
Haile Selassie the first.
Bless Earth strong. Yes.
Yeah, so I know that because Jock touched on something earlier, Trevor, before you came in, when he gave Mikey B his props, and he was saying that even though Mikey B was banging, he still stood firm on the teachings of His Majesty. So I know that at one point in time, we all remember when it wasn't no big time blood crip stuff going on in the system. What was it like when that bum rush came up, Lumumba? When the rush came up from the island and they started creeping up, how was the Spanish and the Latin kings and them? Was they like alligators ready to eat when they started seeing them on them come up?
But I was in I was in Sing Sing, and brother Corey and B.O. Soul brother and all them was there at the time, and I started seeing this, hearing about blood, and but I was hearing about blood that it was on the island. You know something? Let me touch on this whole gang thing, because a lot of people feel that the first time that people in New York was involved with gangs was when they was imitating the brothers from LA, right? Let me say that when I went, that is not true, because when I came to America in the early 70s, New York City was flooded with gangs. You had the Tomahawks, you had the you had the savage skulls, the savage nomads. I mean, the young nomads, you name it. It was flooded with gangs. That's what I hear a lot of people saying that the only reason why New York, a lot of brothers from New York joined the Crips and the Bloods because that's the first time. In other words, it's like that's the first time gangs was in New York. New York had gangs before LA.
That's true.
New York was gang banging before LA.
Filthy mad dogs, the dirty ones. Yes, definitely.
You need to get the record straight.
Yeah. So when that rush came up north and everything,
when the rush came up, it was a little tension, yeah. But I think the Blood survived because in the beginning, when they came up, and the Spanish people was in a position to really annihilate them. A lot of brothers who wasn't Blood, even Rastas, everybody stood up and let people know, nah, you can't just go at them like that, because that was in the beginning. Afterwards, all this other prison politics shit started playing, and that's where you get it. But in the beginning, when the Bloods came up, it was they survived because a lot of brothers who wasn't even gangbanging, who wasn't into that, stood up and told a lot of them Spanish brothers they can't just do it like that.
Well,
that's true. Case in point is when me and Lumumba was in Sing Sing together. First, we were in Windy. And me, him, Soul B, we were in Windy. And then we started trickling downstate into South, into Sing Sing. So while in Sing Sing, we used to be together all the time, all the Rastaman, you know what I mean? You trotted together. So we eat together, we did everything together. So we noticed, I had noticed at one time, this is around 1995. Whenever a Blood came to Sing Sing, they was almost killing them. They were almost killing him in Sing Sing. But most of us held our ground to where we just, that's the gang thing. We're gonna leave that alone. It ain't got nothing to do with us. You see me? Until it got out of control, because they were doing him so bad, like really dirty. So one time, it was an incident with Corey King. Corey King came through with maybe 3 or 4 other Bloods, and they was in the 5 building, which is orientation. Was orientation at the time. So while he was in the 5 building, Soul B had sent word over to me and Lumumba, asked us not to let what normally happened to them happen to him. So on the strength of that, we got involved and stepped to them on them and told them, basically let them know that they can't be doing, the things have to stop. That type of violence towards the black man have to stop. So that allowed Corey King to come into the yard and live. That allowed the rest of them to come into the jail and live. So from that point, that's when you see more and more Blood start coming through Sing Sing, and they were able to set up. They were able to group up. They were able to live at that time. After that.
Yeah, so the Rastas played a big part of a whole lot of stuff, man. I personally bought in a lot of Bloods under the Rastafarian banner, and I personally embraced them and gave them the teachings of His Majesty.
Same way. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's been missing, with a lot of discussions that be taking place on. We embraced a lot of Bloods and gave them the teachings of His Majesty, helping them see a better way.
Cultivation. Because everything can't be based off of violence.
No, at some point, people got you. You got to grow, man. You see what I'm saying? Because the common enemy always been Babylon to only like minds.
Exactly.
Trevor,
Yeah,
Trevor,
yeah.
because I know you played a major part in putting a lot of that stuff to bed too, man.
Uh, only thing I'll say, me that Rasta man. Is the Emperor said, always peaceful me first. Me and all of them youth there was that's cool. The nature them, you know, all of the head, the Latin king, the Muslim then, the God body and them, and the blood, me and all of them was cool. So where injustice and things that we seen alike, especially to one of my brethren, I could always go to the head and talk to them and say, ba 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 ba, and overstart. Well, I'm gonna leave it like I'm gonna leave it like that. Got the brethren them, certain brethren there, they're not in this conversation, but I let them touch upon it. But the brethren know who did what and who stand up and who said certain things.
That's right.
Them know.
Facts.
See, facts. Yeah, so Lumumba,
Yo.
so when you speak about when you were going to be released, right? You was never at one point in time you thought that you was never getting out of prison, right?
Yeah. I mean, judging from what I was seeing happening around me, I had 15 years to life. I see a lot of brothers that had the same time that their past history was not as serious as mine, and a lot of them end up doing 30 and 40 years off of 15 years to life. So it kind of like in my mind, I was like, shit, I ain't never getting out of prison, man. You know, I was at that point, I was feeling like that. Like, yo, this shit could really like this 15 could turn into 30. You know, that's how I was seeing it. But a lot of things happened, man, to actually change that course, man. I
Because at one point,
made me look at it different.
because then at one point you had they had gave you 15 years in the box, right?
Oh yeah, they gave me 15 years in the special housing unit. Yeah, in the box. Um, actually, they accused me that happened in Sing Sing, and they actually accused me of being the one. I was the so-called ringleader that caused all these stabbings to take place and all that, but which is not true. And I would like to tell people this something that I don't glorify. I don't even like to talk about that whole prison experience called it is trauma is traumatizing to me. I don't know about other people. So you know, but they gave me 15 years in the box for allegedly being a ringleader for some group that they had made up in their mind, and out of that 15 years in the box, I ended up doing 3 years, and I got a reversal.
And that's due to you knowing how to fight against the system. It's how you got the reversal. You knew the law.
Yeah, I wasn't what they would call a jailhouse lawyer, but I knew the basics. Is like I ain't an expert on the computer, but I know the basics on how to use the phone. But I'm not a phone expert. You understand? But so yeah, I kind of knew the law. But let me tell you something that actually, and I want to say this, man. When was given that 15 years to life in the 15 years in the box. Um, on my third, I had put in my appeal, and I had exhausted my appeal from the within the prison system. So I went to the outside court. When I was into like my third year, going into my third year, this man came to us, to my cell, to the cell I was in. I don't like claiming cells. That wasn't my cell, but the cell that I was in. This man, he looked Korean, or he looked like he was Asian. He was Asian. He had a suit on. He had a he was well dressed, little jewelry. He asked me, could he sit down by the cell? I said, well, I don't have a chair, but you could ask the officers for a bucket or something. The officers brought a bucket to him. He put his hand through the cell and shook my hand and identified, told me who he was. But I want what he did say to me, he said to me, listen, I come here because there's some people on the top. Most of the people on the top likes you. And there are some that may be against you. But we don't want the scales to tip where the ones that don't like you become in the minority. Listen carefully to what the man said to me. He said, you is a pretty intelligent man. He said, what are you? You're a Muslim? I said, nah. He said, you're a Christian? I said, nah. He said, what are you? I said, I'm Rasta. He said, you read the Bible? I said, yeah. He said, you ever read the book, the book of with Joseph? You know anything about Joseph? I said, yeah, well, I read the book. So I know. He said, what is it about Joseph? I asked him, what is about Joseph? He want me to know. He said, well, listen, you know, Joseph brothers turned on him and tried to kill him. And then the same brothers in the end had to return back to the brother that they killed, that they tried to kill, and Joseph accepted them, and Joseph became very powerful. He sat on the right hand of the Pharaoh. And I said, yeah. He said, well, listen, you got them qualities, right? This is what the man said to me. He said, you got those qualities. All I'm asking you to do is stop. All they're asking you to do, stop selling drugs in our prison. Now, I ain't say yeah, nah, nothing. I'm just listening to this man talking, you know. He said, once you change your life, you will see how things would change for you. He said, that's all I'm at. That's all they sent me, the message that they sent me to give to you. So in other words, that was my warning. Like either I pull up and do what I supposed to do, or they're gonna kill me in that prison, man. That's basically the message that he came with.
And
So
you knew that he was, you knew he was talking facts.
I knew it was facts, Jane. But as I said, I just sat there and listened to him. And you see, within a week, I got that reversal, man. Went right back to population. And went back to population and went straight. Like you know how when the what's his name came out, the Jonah came out the belly of the so-called fish. And when he came out of there, at first, before he went in, he wasn't going straight. He didn't care. He was given a mission to go on. He was doing what he wanted to do. But once he got into that belly right there, the fish, and he realized, yo, this could be the end of the road. If you let me out of here, I am going straight. That's what happened to me. Cause you see, when they let me out of there, Brethren, I went straight, man. I stopped doing a lot of things that I was doing in the population. I stopped doing a lot of things, and and from the time I stopped doing that, that is what led me to be sitting here talking to y'all today, man. My life just changed.
Yeah, I wanted to just show this thing right here, like a picture, right? Where because we also dispelling tonight, we're gonna dispel a lot of these myths, that been in the air. So we know who that is, right, Trevor? So this is for all of those that's watching this right now. When you look at the screen, this is who is known throughout the whole Rastafari as the first Rasta, Leonard P. Howell. You don't see no locks on his head, but he is the first Rasta known to any Rasta that really know their history. He's the first Rasta. Where you see your Lumumba, where you see a lock on his head?
Yeah, but you remember the first set of Rastas, had no locks, and it was called the bearded ones.
No, but I'm
They
saying
had beard. They was identified by their beard, but they didn't have locks at the time.
But it's good to put forth this information so that the people them can know and understand what it really is, man. You got
Call them
people that's
beards,
with.
man.
You got people
Beards,
that's
man.
with. You got people that's dressed. What we call it, Lumumba? They dressing the part
Yeah.
with the long locks and everything. They got the precepts and everything.
Facts. But I'm good that you thought. It's good that you throwing it out there, man, because a lot of people are not aware of what Rasta is, and that's the confusion. Because if somebody do something that it is out of order, out of character, and they have locks, the first thing they would say is, "Yo, is a Rasta man that did that." So people got to start learning that there's a difference between locks and Rastafari, and the difference is that not everyone with locks hail His Imperial Majesty.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
that's the difference. So you can't lump everybody into one just because you see them with locks and say, "Oh, you're Rasta." No.
Because I remember that it was a point in time when we gonna speak on Mo Blinds real quick, right? So Mo Blinds ain't had no locks on his head. He had the low cut waves and everything, and he wasn't connected or linked to no West Indian background, nothing like that. And people was mad that Mo Blinds was Rasta, right? But you know what? What I always loved about him, that shit ain't budge him. And guess
Yeah.
what? He could run circles around the best of them with the knowledge of His Majesty.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? So I think about people like that, Jock, that they didn't want him having nothing to do with Rasta. I'm just calling it what it is. They didn't want him to have nothing to do with Rasta because he wasn't West Indian. But that shit ain't stop him. I see this man out here right now. Guess what? He's still trotting. So it wasn't a front. How you feel about that little man them that was in the system? Bismia, woman, Feskidos, Adam Lock, those last Taslim in the system. But what happened now when you see them?
But look, again, you see with age come a little wisdom. Cause before I used to see certain things, I would always respond.
Yeah, look
I
at
would
Trevor.
always feel like
Trevor, you know what time it is, man.
I would feel like I always got to respond to certain things. Right now, I see brothers come into the system and they attach themselves to Rasta because they see that Rasta is, once they're around Rasta, nobody will actually do anything to them. I see a lot of brothers, they grow their locks and they say that this is what they're about. And for all, I mean, when you look at it, you know, they was in there, they was living up full. So I can't take that away from them. They was living up full. But what coming back out into society, or what they call society, or this bigger prison, you know, than this smaller one that we came out of, you get to see who people really, really are. This is when them gates open and you release, you really get to see who this person really is. So if this person say, well, yo, you know, I'm prisoner, when I get out, I gonna be teaching the youths, I gonna be doing this. You know, I'm a Rasta. And from the time they come out, the first thing they do is to denounce. I ain't gonna even say cut their locks. I gonna say to denounce Rasta. I mean, everything that they learn within the prison system is like they totally forget that.
I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like it. That's just me. That's my personal feelings towards it. You know what I mean? Because it's not a game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know something? When the sun shine, right? When the sun shine for the just and the unjust. I mean, everybody get a piece of sun. You could be the worst murderer on this planet. You gonna get some sun. You could be a rapist, a robber, whatever. You getting that sunshine, man. The sun do not discriminate. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we represent, brethren. We represent the sun. So when we shine our rays, man, we know what we got to do is just keep shining. Don't worry about who fall on the wayside, who this, who that. Keep shining them rays, man. And that's what we're doing.
Set speed.
Love. Respect and all aspect. Yeah, man. Trevor.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I there join us, man.
Long time no see, Trevor.
I just said, you know, already. Should I try to through the system, you know? Babylonian system.
Yeah. Trevor is one of the brethren, man, that the way you see him there is the way I always knew Trevor, man. Trevor is, I always used to call him the voice of reason. He's the one that actually brothers could go to and reason if they have a problem, if they have issues with each other, if they're going to fight or want to kill each other. Trevor was the one that they would go to, and I would see how he would handle things. So, you know, what the same way you see him there is that's him. That's how he is.
Yeah, that's Trevor. Trevor, you know, one of the he's a forefather, man. He might not want to accept certain titles and all that, but he's one of the forefathers, man, and of the movement, and it's nothing but love, man. And Trevor, anywhere Trevor been, man, where Trevor bring the energy that he bring, people flock to Trevor and want to be around him, man. Real talk.
Yeah. Real talk.
Yo, Trevor, accept your flowers, man.
The emperor, you know. Everybody emperor got the people them love him and respect him. And the emperor not change for nobody. Him act the same way. The same way the emperor act. The same thing him do. And that's why emperor as best as I man can.
Yeah, definitely do. You definitely did a great job, man. I know even Lumumba, I definitely gotta give you your flowers same way, because I remember you was like, yo, man, I need you to make sure that things run certain way, man. You know I'm getting ready to break up, I'm getting ready to leave. I need you to be one of the people that make sure that this shit runs certain way. You see what I'm saying? So Trevor can tell you, by the time when me and Trevor linked, Trevor came, he got the red carpet treatment, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we had the foundation set. The way we was moving.
Yeah.
Trust and believe me, you would have been proud to say, yo, I left it in the hand of good soldiers, man. You know what I'm saying? Me, Sharp, man. You know what I mean? Yav, Prince. You know, rest in peace to Peter. You know, we got mad stories of Peter, but
Yeah.
he's still our brethren, though.
Rising power.
Yeah, but I gotta thank you, man, for like, cause you play an intricate part in my life being the way it is now, man. Where I'm just I'm a totally different person, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I kept it moving, man. No try, you know the Melchizedek way, man. One way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you play a major part in that, man, because I didn't see you sway, bro. And I know blinds feel the same way. You know what I mean? We ain't see you no matter what was going on. You didn't go left, you stayed on course.
But let me tell you something, right? Y'all kept me in line, whether you know it or not. Y'all kept me in line because I never been in a prison. And in all them 17 years, I never been in a prison and stayed as long as I stayed in Mid-Orange.
Yo, you remember when? Do you remember when you? Cause you hung with you had all the young dudes with you,
Right.
right?
Right.
You had all the young your Jock. All the young dudes was with him, man.
I was one of them. Like his influence with me was strong. Like I love, how would they say it now? I used to love the smoke. I used to love the shit.
Yeah.
But it turned, he could tell you. His reasoning calmed me.
Yeah.
So I can speak about that resonates with me, what you're talking about now. You know what I mean? His spirit resonated with me to where it led me closer and stronger to Rasta, which made me reason more with my own life rather than being reckless, always in the box, always getting into something. But me, I was always getting into something for somebody else. He helped me reason with those things there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facts.
I give him his flowers for that, sure. And the fact that for some reason we was like interconnected so much where we bumped into each other a lot over like a 10-year time span. I will leave or he'll leave and then we end up together again. And then the reasoning to continue.
Yeah, but you know, and a key thing too is that when we used to have the Rastology classes, right? You had to come ready, man, because you had to come ready because it was like dudes was gonna come at you.
Well, he's always building.
You know what I mean? Because if you see
even
that you
outside of
Rasta,
Rastology classes, we always build. Like that was mandatory. We used to attend the masjid and go and listen to the cookbah, and we even build after the cookbah.
We did all
that.
Wrong,
Lumumba.
Facts.
Yeah, that was part of it. We going to the masjid, going to if the guards if we got the NOI brothers talking, we want to go over there. We want to hear what they talking
about. Exactly.
Because see, that's what Rastas do. We can go anywhere and still feel comfortable.
That's right.
Reasoning ain't just amongst Rasta.
Reason is universal.
Exactly.
Yeah. But your is
Lumumba, look at the screen and what that's saying.
I call Lumumba my pops because he stepped up and did the job that my biological yeah.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
I just want before the idea close out, right, Lumumba?
Yeah.
Before the idea close out, you know what I'm saying? We still, even with all, like I said earlier, people could feel their ways about the brethren, we still gotta give him his just due to what he meant to the movement.
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Haile Selassie
Yes,
the first,
Selassie the
live on
first.
reign continually. We gotta give him his just due, man.
The elder brethren, listen, respect all elders, man.
Gotta respect the elders, man.
That's right.
Mandatory.
They paved the way. They made the way. They
Mandatory.
made the way. Regardless
the
of how
one-
they made it, they made the way for us, man.
He baptized us, man. In the name
Yeah.
of his imperial majesty, Emperor Selassie the first.
Yes, Selassie the first.
You know what I mean? And that baptism stand firm. Our name is still etched, bro. In Albany right now, we official.
Yeah.
And I think everybody needs to know that.
Agreed.
Yo, it was a blessing, you know, vibing up with the brethren, man, and it was an honor. You know what I mean? Being able to reason, being able to just have the brethren just see each other. Cause I know a lot of us ain't see each other in a minute as far as like vibing up every day. You know, Trevor, he don't know nobody, but we still love him.
No, I would have said that. I call you more times, send messages, same thing, send messages to nobody, no other. Oh, just
Yes.
a different. Oh, just a different.
I true, Trevor.
I wake up early in the morning, run to the plantation and do my door. Come home and usually I'm in my bed by now. I get a little nap. If I get up early, 3:30 to 4 o'clock, up. I take care of things for fly out and go to the plantation. So I've been on a time for really stay up to get on this a Friday night and Saturday night. And
How
then
the mother, Trevor?
she alright, you know, she got home. She get her rest, you know.
Okay, good.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I'm not like, we close up with that chant, every person can say something.
I'll lead it, Trevor.
You go, you man.
You are the forefather. You lead.
Lead it.
You know, I'm not do the Babetta way, because that's the other way I know.
That's right. Lead it, brethren.
And inform us something still. Blessed be Jah, Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Bless me,
Festivals.
Animal Almighty Father, Emperor Selassie the first. We know all good how we present is the virgin can gather and identify need. To disseminate information that is vital, that we can utilize, not only to educate and empower ourselves, but to reach out to the youth them, to continue to walk in darkness, continue to strengthen our hands. Almighty Father, continue to guide our vision so we can continue to do the things that we need to do and identify them. Blessed be Jah.
Rastafari.
Majesty.
Give thanks to the eye there. Blessed Trevor.
Yes.
Majesty.
So I get ready to sign off. So.
All right, the king. Blessed. Majesty.
Yes, brother.
I Selassie first. Blessed
Majesty.
Guy, live and reign. Yeah, man, this is very, very important, man.
I'm in a meeting. What you said? The what? For what? We want. Huh?
Yeah, this is very important. I'm glad that everybody tuned in. Make sure y'all hit that like button before y'all leave. Real easy. Just hit that like button, y'all. Tap that like button. Share this to your peoples, man. Let them get this fire. Let them get this energy. Let them get this information.
Yeah.
Yeah, King.
Yes, listen.
Love
You
and
got
guidance, man.
this. Can't be. You can't just do it one time, Reggie.
No, man. We gonna do this more often, and I'm gonna link
Drop
y'all
with
with
it.
some other brethren and let y'all do spread. You're gonna spread out through all. We gonna flood it.
Yeah,
Because it's time to bum rush the scene and let the people them get the fire, brethren.
that's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You got one of the brethren, Mikey B in here. He got a platform. Y'all go touch his thing. We locked in. Y'all can go touch his thing
Yeah,
and reason over there on that end. You know what I mean? Because it's about, see, I'm big on content. Because when we dealing with people when we get on these platforms, right?
right.
So it's about putting out the proper information. It's like feeding babies, man.
Let me do it the right way, man.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
substance is needed. So that's what I'm big on. And I
it's
know
that
you big
time.
on that.
It's that time.
Done no king.
Right.
And
I give thanks. Give thanks to you, man, for inviting me up to the JAH-ACE.
you don't know.
Sure. Yes, for real.
I mean,
For real.
let me see something, man. Before you go, right?
Yeah.
You know that
I'm in a meeting,
I
man.
want I want you to always accept your flowers, bro.
Yeah, bro. But listen. I don't only want flowers, I want money too. Cause I tell them all the time, don't
Don't
wait
wait for
till,
dead.
huh? You heard
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah, no. I always tell people, you would spend $20,000 and $30,000 on a funeral,
Mm,
and all these people will come to see a dead person in a casket. But you wouldn't take that $30,000 and give to that person while they're alive. Why not?
that's a fact.
Why
We could,
not?
yeah, man.
You understand what I mean? So I respect the fact that you say, man, that you're gonna give me the flowers, man. But flowers, I'm giving you your flowers. You deserve the money right now. You deserve. You got family. You got a family to take care of. You're doing the right thing. You deserve everything good that comes your way, brother. And while you're breathing, while you're living, and yeah, enough respect to Sharif. Don't forget Sharif, man.
Yeah, don't know
I just,
Sharif. Love and guidance.
I just felt that energy right there, man.
Love and guidance to Sharif, man.
That's right. True
You
soldier.
know, you see that there?
That's right.
He is the phone. He's one of the founders of this right here, man.
Yeah, I know. He talked to me about it. Yeah.
You see what I say? Where loyalty is rewarded and treachery is despised.
Facts.
We'll never forget that brethren there, man. A true soldier and a great mind.
For
Blessed
real.
brethren.
Blessed. His Majesty.
Modesty I. Yeah, salute to everybody, man. I'm glad that y'all tuned in to JAH-ACE TV. You got the opportunity to hear some of the brethren speak. And like I said before, these dudes is like alongside Scully and others, these dudes is like the most known Rastafaris in the whole New York State, man. So I just wanted to bring them on the platform so that they can speak, because there's a lot of people who have spoken over a period of time on these platforms, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to speak and at the same time build with everybody and dispel some of the myths that people may have thought about Rasta or people didn't know about Rastafari. So hopefully some of the people y'all left with some valuable information that y'all can move forward with. Definitely, subscribe to the channel, man. Because I'm dealing with, we dealing with content, we dealing with reality, we dealing with real life shit. And a lot of us brothers that got platforms, we did a lot of time, man. So it ain't none of us really, ain't none of us want to go back in there, man. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? And when I say a lot of time, a lot of us did over 15 years in fucking prison, man. So at the end of the day, let's move forward, man. Let's realize that life is short, and let's make every day count, man. With that, I say salute and Rastafari. Bless up to everybody. Subscribe to that channel, man. It's free. It's free. Go subscribe to JAH-ACE TV, man. Go to the Instagram. It's right here, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. It's easy, man. More content on the way. And just know I'm about what I say I'm about. Salute and love to everybody, man. Have a blessed night. Respect in all aspect. Y'all already know what it is. JAH-ACE TV, baby. Go subscribe. Hit that like button, y'all. Content on the way. Bless up.